Scott with Hot Water Products.
I'm Josh. Nice to meet you.
Josh, nice to meet you.
Chris.
Chris, nice to meet you, Chris. Okay, Parabach water heaters. They are 400,000 BTUs each.
Okay.
So you got 800,000 between them, 100 gallon tanks. Basically, they are a modulating condensing water heater. So here is your condensate trap. It is not going to be uncommon to have water here. That is not a leak, that is by design. Everything works off of the top. Up top you've got a blower motor. That blower motor has a gas valve attached to it. That gas valve is actually a negative pressure gas valve. So I'm pulling gas out of that valve. So the more air I have moving, the more gas I'm going to pull. So we keep that fuel-air ratio the same throughout, because we're mixing the air and the gas prior so that we can achieve the modulation. There's going to be times you come in here and the heater will say that it's running and you won't be able to hear it. Then there'll be other times when it's at full speed that you will be able to hear it. So realize that the fan speed is going to be different. To make a change for your set point, press the menu button, down to settings, press OK, press OK again to get the number flashing and make your change. I'm going to take this up to 165 degrees. After I push OK, it's set in there, and then we're on hold. So I did that so that it'll fire. So now it has a demand. It says hot water demand 33%. That's the speed of your blower motor. The B is highlighted in the upper left-hand corner. In a moment, the I is going to come on. That is your igniter. Here is where you would be looking in a little sight glass to make sure that it was orange. After 8 seconds, your gas valve is going to open, and then your G gas valve and your F for flame are going to be there. FBG. So our set point's 165. It's currently 152. So it's going to go to 100%. It will modulate down when it gets close to 165% to its lowest possible position. It's going to sit there and wait. 166, 167, the units will say, okay, I've met my demand, I'm not going to get another demand, I want a longer run time, but I'm going to shut down. So then it will allow itself to drop to 157 before it refires, so that it has some differential, so that it's not firing. You can raise it 1 degree and on, off, on, off, on, off. So, makes sense as far as that goes. When we are, when it is satisfied, I'm going to take this back down to 150, it'll be satisfied. You're going to see it's going to drop down, your gas valve will close, and the B is going to stay on to purge those flue gases out. So don't be panicked. It says hot water demand. If it doesn't light and give you the FPG, it may be up to temperature, and you're going to recognize that because its set point's 150. We raised her a couple of 8 degrees, but we do have a mixing valve, so we're not concerned about burning people, and the kitchen staff knows better than to keep their hands under 150 degree water, so I'm not worried about scalding anybody. So, continuing with what we have up top, that blower motor sits right here and blows right down, right dead center of this. Right in front of that is a sight glass. So if you get an error code, the A01 is probably the most common as far as ignition error. So it tried to light and never saw flame. Doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't flame. The unit just never recognized it was there. So that's where I would ask you to reset the unit, take the lid off of the top, and take a peek down that barrel. When the eye shows up, you'll be able to see it glowing orange for the glow plug igniter. Then 7 seconds later, the gas valve, you'll be able to hear that open up top. Then if you see flame, and then it goes out in 3 seconds, that means that you have flame. We just have to clean up the flame rod to make sure it senses it. If we have the orange glow, but no flame, now we've got a gas delivery problem. Or the blower motor's not moving air. If we don't have a glow, we need an igniter. Everything starts with that. So they're the 3 things, basically. So control board sits back here. I have a sensor on the top. I also have a sensor on the second pass flue. The reason for that is, if you had a period of demand where the unit was modulating down so far and I started to dip below condensing levels, it may not go down to its lowest point. It may stay up a little bit in RPMs so that it satisfies that need. So, just in case you hear it running and you don't think it should be running as quickly, just monitor a little bit and confirm that, you know, it's not just going into that phase. If you want to get a little deeper and learn some things, press OK just ever so slightly before M and then hold the 2. This will put you into the installer menu. You could do no harm in here. If you go to heater status, OK, fan speed, it'll give you your actual fan speed. Your low speed on this is 2220 RPMs on the blower motor. Your ignition speed is 3300. This is all listed as I press the down arrow. Your high speed is 5640 RPMs, so that's the variance that you have for your flame signal is set here. It has had one failure. It has run for 62 hours. It had several block vent errors. My guess would be they're all right next to each other, so the roofer probably put something on it. And it has had one low gas pressure error code that was a lockout, which is generally the one I see each and every time. So very straightforward on that. Your hot water comes out over here, your cold is down on the bottom. Your air intake is here. This tube is just to catch any moisture or something that builds up in there so that it doesn't try to burn. Obviously moisture and flame don't get along. Standard safety mechanism T&P here. And we run off of 110 volts, a drain, a hand clean out, but you have naturally soft water in La Crosse, right? Or do you soften?
We soften.
You do soften, okay. Keep your softener good. These units will last longer than me. Neglect your softener for a year, they're going to be dead in a year. Soft water matters big. Best example I have is when I bought my house 27 years ago, I couldn't afford a softener, because I just bought a house. But I had to put a hot water heater in because it was dead. I put that water heater in, 2 years later it was dead. 2/3 filled with lime. Called it out. I knew somebody in the business, so they covered it under warranty, but I bought a softener at that time. I just sold that house. It's been 25 years. That heater that I replaced was still in it when I left. So 2 years with hard water, 25 plus with soft water. And I didn't have to clean my toilet every day. So soft water is a big, big deal. So, any questions? It really is that straightforward. And I will be writing my phone number right here. So if you have any questions, feel free 24/7. I'll answer. We'll do the best we can to get you going because I live in Madison, and we'll get you the information you need so that you can make a value call. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.